What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at the best players under 500,000 coins. Starting off with the goalkeepers then. Very easy, very quick with these. Van der Sar, always been my favourite. In terms of gold, Courtois. We then have a selection of others. I think with the goalkeepers, everybody can agree. Everybody has their favourite. Whoever you packed untradeable is normally a goalkeeper. I don't know many that go out and buy a keeper. Obviously, if I was going for one, it'd be either a team of the year, Thunderstruck Van der Sar. But in terms of the 500k mark, I reckon you could get away with all of these. Van Nistelrooy is one of them ones that I think you have to really like him. It's one of them ones for me, I'm just not a big fan of kind of out of positions in net. I like them the other way around. Yashin as a centre-back, phenomenal. But whenever it comes to keepers, I think there's only been one in Tapsoba that was decent, and we can all agree Walker was terrible last year. So I'm still on the fence with him, but I've seen a lot of love for him. But for me, gold is Courtois, Van der Sar is the icon, Schmeichel a great SBC, and I think Donnarumma has the ability to at least get a couple of upgrades in the road to the final. Now, when it comes to fullbacks, we've got a decent selection, and to be honest, every kind of up and down tier I do of this, you've got either a certain Mendy, a certain Davies, or a certain Theo Hernandez. Left back wise, it's so easy, and you could even say the same about Lizarazu now. I've kind of disincluded Baka, Havertz, Lodi in this, even though they are phenomenal left backs. You physically cannot get them. So in terms of them, they are some of the favourite left back SBCs you can do. But when you can't get them, there's just no real point putting them in there, to be honest. So in terms of left backs, I reckon you could probably go with all of them. Lizarazu does have another version that I'm pretty sure is in a decent price. I don't think he was like crazy expensive. He's 700, still got the ability to go up. It's looking dwindling now for a double upgrade, but for a single, it's still possible. And on the right back side of stuff, I think Rico Lewis as a future star has got an ability that could be great from an evolution. Whether the 88 is going to hold up against Carfu, if it's going to hold up against a Frimpong, it's looking unlikely for the future, but it's still a solid card right now, especially at 230. It's not the worst price you could go with. Alex Scott as a brand new SBC. She's nearly over now, but she's definitely there. And again, respectable value at 281. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. We've got Kyle Walker as originally a centre-back, but in terms of put him as a right-back, I think that works more. And also he has had multiple opportunities for an evolution. I do wish that he was a little bit higher at this point. We've only had one card from him, which is mental that Reece James has had the exact same amount. Whether Kyle Walker's done enough in his performances to get himself a team of the week, a team of the group stage, or anything in the lines of that, that's fair enough. But I think it is mental that we've only got an 86 of him so far. He is due a big upgrade. I think with a 3-star, 2-star, Kyle Walker's going to be a perfect candidate for birthday. But you could say the same for James as well. It will be an interesting between the two of them. But I do think in terms of that aspect, as a right back, they are two of the better ones you can get. Obviously, Frimpong's Thunderstruck, which I really like, 630. So a little bit out of this price range. Now if we move over to the centre-backs, there's definitely a fair few in this budget. When we look at the absolute top of the top, like last week we did the 2 million coin range, we saw some absolutely insane players. But 2 million coins per position is nuts, is genuinely nuts. Whereas this is a little bit more cheap and cheerful. When we look at I think most of these cards, to be honest, obviously Virgil has an incredible amount of different types, but all of them are insanely expensive. You can easily go for the gold. I'll say it on every single one. Gold Virgil is here to stay, always. Cannavaro, he's a funny one because I'm a big fan of Cannavaro, but this card I feel like could have been better. He's 384, which I think is a decent price for him, regardless of what you want him to be. He definitely isn't a right back. I don't think that ever works for him. Centre back through and through. We have Kunate. People absolutely rave about him. I think he's a brilliant centre-back with the ability to go up. Same as obviously Todibo and also this Italian centre-back who I cannot even pronounce the name. They have got that ability for right now. If you go and pay 480, you go pay 100k for an SBC and 200k for the SBC. They can go up. They still haven't had any upgrades yet. I want to say this guy's already got one upgrade. Konate, I think, might have as well. I know that they're coming Wednesday, so that will be interesting to see where they go in price for that. But there is the chance of them going all the way up as well. There's a full chance of a full upgrade for them. Whether that's going to happen for a lot of these, probably unlikely to get the +4. But a 3, a 2 if they're playing, it most definitely is very likely. So looking at that from that sort of point of view, I think these two centre-backs as just SBCs are great value. You can get both of these done for cheaper than just doing Cannavaro, with the chance of them going up to like a 91, a 91 as well, or 92, 91. That is phenomenal value of a +4, even if they just get a 1 or a 2. We've got Anticipate and Slide Tackle, which is fantastic. Intercept is good enough. Very, very good pace, which is what I'd add for him, especially if he was to get upgrades as well. We then have the tried and true classics. Company is a wonderful centre-back, regardless of hero, of fantasy foot, or even the UCL. Lucio obviously has himself a 5.5 million card, but even the base hero is still incredible. When these cards are still coming in at 500k, give or take, and 206, with the amount of base heroes from the start of the game and all of the gamble SBCs, and yet there's still this value, it just shows you how much they are actually worth and how good they are in game as well. I'd definitely go with Company as well with the Anticipate. We've got the middle selection. We've got some tried and tested as well with Campbell. Love the card. Feel like he's due an upgrade as well. Whether we see a FUT birthday icon from him, it's going to be an interesting one to see. Varane is just beautiful in himself. Whether we see another upgrade from him anytime soon, it's probably unlikely in performance-based, but more than likely, you could see a FUT birthday, you could see a Moments at some point. It's one of them, a team of the season. A Moments Varane is an easy one to sell SBC fodder. And then Arejo is fantastic in this game. A very, very good card that is due a big upgrade soon. I think a double playstyle plus alongside him, even though that would take him way over the million coins, it's still a very good card even at the 88 right now.
If your team's looking like this, then I have the place for you. Head over to U7Buy for all your coin needs. They're cheap, fast, and reliable, but make sure to use JT11 at the checkout for 6% off all of your coin orders.
Then we move on to the midfield. I've tried to include as many of the new players as we can, but there is some very expensive lads out there, and they are more than likely coming in way above the 500k mark. But Gundogan, first on the list, he was from the mini release from Team 2. He's got himself a very good shot, to be honest with you. In terms of Barcelona, I'm pretty sure he plays. We'll have a look at that last game that he played. So their last game was against Bilbao, and he was playing. So there's a good chance he gets at least the 90. Whether he assists or scores, being a midfielder, it's one of them. If he can, that would be beautiful. If not, it isn't the kind of worst in the world, but realistically, he should get the appearances. He should get the hopeful 2 wins. Then it's just rested on an assist. 11 goals is the stretch. I think that's for any card. 11 goals in 4 games is very difficult to do without like a 5-6-0. And let's be real, some of them teams have not scored 5-6 goals in a long time in one game. We then have a few more in Yaya Toure, base version still at 277, just like Company and Lucio. If he's this price still, how good can he be with no playstyle plus, 4-4, which is valid, pace-wise, definitely a little bit under your average right now for a centre mid, but he still has that cost. There's always a reason, and Yaya Toure is him. Seedorf, love the future star of him. He was a great addition, a great upgrade for him, bit of pace, add a shadow onto him. You've got yourself a pretty decent box-to-box. He's got a bit of physicality in him. Obviously, with the shadow, it does rack up that defending as well as the pace. There's very little to argue, especially with the 4-4 and the high work rate. Same as Sauer, even though she's got herself a team of the year. Don't grumble on that base. 91 rated is a respectable base rating to have, alongside the 4-4. Incredible stats throughout. The only thing she's really missing is physicality, which I can kind of get away from with 91 dribbling and passing, an increase with a shadow for the pace, as well as then already having 86 attack or shooting. Again, it's not a bad icon whatsoever. We've got some tried classics in the middle with Valverde and Barella. Barella is one that I could see him being a FUT birthday. Valverde more than likely is going to be missing out on this one. Maybe now we're waiting for the team of the season for him. I don't feel like he gets another one until then. Whereas Barella with the team of the group stage is currently the best version of him, I'm pretty sure. We've got, 89. So he is destined to get a FUT birthday. Always look at the free freeze, not had a card in a while. He's just easily going to be there. You just know that for an absolute fact. And that card would be a great addition because the stats very well distributed, 82 across everything. He's obviously got himself the tiki-taka plus. You add a different playstyle to him as well. That's going to be a great card going forward. And even right now, still a decent centre mid you can have in your team. Same as Bellingham. Now, Bellingham's had a decent amount across the board. This one is just the cheapest one of them all. Obviously, the team of the year is just absolutely beautiful, but 8.9 million is a crazy price. He has got a team of the group stage that I would probably look at, Intercept Plus instead, and he is 89 rated, but it's 69,000 over the 500k budget at the moment. So if you are looking potentially just going that one up for him, could be worth the extra rating. Whereas Musiala comes in a little bit cheaper as a cam, 250 with just a single playstyle plus, the highest rated you can get from him, and hopefully another one that could be a FUT birthday. I'd probably say team of the season like Valverde now, because you've got to think of just going to a 92 with a double playstyle plus is nice. You could add that 5-5 onto him, so there is a possibility, but it's dependent on what rating they're going to choose for team of the season. Are we looking to go into like the 93 to 95 range? Then some of them are 96, 97, ready then for the Euros and footies, where the ratings then go up from 95 to an average of like 96 to 98, with some being 99. That's just how the rating system works. And you've got to think the spread of cards that we've got nowadays, there is a lot that you could go through. I could make you probably 3 different midfielder teams off some of the craziest pricing that you'd ever see. They're all going to be upgraded at the same time, or at least in sections to start with. And then obviously like your Valverdes, who are probably going to get a team of the season, will go up to that max first. We have Kessler, beautiful future star, fantasy foot. Travella, relentless, very, very good centre mid with more of the attacking range than anything. Obviously, you could either go with a shadow to boost up the defending, to make her more of a box-to-box, which does work. I do think she is more of that attacking centre mid, more so than the defending. But even 81 on the defending with a shadow is still going to be enough compared to some of the centre mids we've got. Rijkaard, another great SBC, future star icon that I think he's got a little bit of time yet. I'm pretty sure the future stars have still got 6 weeks to get him done. And very, very cheap at that. 260 is absolutely nothing. I think he's a wonderful CDM. I would kind of pinch Petit to be more of the centre-back rather than Rijkaard. I like the intercept in that CDM role if I'm just being my preference alone. And Kaka's always got to be mentioned. Kaka's Kaka. Great Brazilian cam. 5-star, 4-star with a rapid. What's there not to like about that? I think the wing is definitely a funny place for this sort of budget because there's so many teams where I'm just like, they've got a player of the month Mbappe there, they've either put an Henry there, they've managed to get a special Vinny, a special Hansen, Salah, or they've even gone for like the Georgie Best, the Garinchas, and it's like, okay, well that just bypasses every budget. If I was looking at 500k, Felix, great body type. Felix in the game is very much kind of like how a top-end Griezmann is. When it comes to the in-game, he's perfect. He's a lean build. He's normally got a decent amount of agility balance. The speed's normally there as well. The only thing that takes time to kind of rack up is the shooting, is a little bit more of the passing game. Now we're starting to see that progress with him. I think he's a wonderful card. Whether I'd buy the 88 for 500, just wait for a better version of him. But even so, if you've managed to get this one untradeable, we've got a lot of gamble SBCs. That is a perfect card still. Whether you've not already got yourself, like I say, a Georgie Best Team of the Year, a Garincha, Jarzinho's SBCs coming very soon. There's a lot of players in SBCs that would more than likely take over this card. Even Mbappe. If you've already got 2 solid strikers, you went and did Eusebio and Henry, or Eusebio and Dalglish, you've got Mbappe just chilling somewhere, you're going to put him left wing over Felix every day of the week. Same with a Vinny. 174 on a gold still at this point of the game is crazy. Let alone Mbappe still being like 1.6 mil is just an anomaly when it comes to golds. He's 1.7 at the moment. I believe the next one was it might be Vinny, then Putellas. The gold market is absolutely on the floor. So to tell him that he's still 174 is a credit to him. Obviously Vinny is almost I'd say he's the next Neymar, but I do think in that sense, yes, but he's Vinny. He's definitely been on this grind. We've been waiting for Vinny to really hit that potential. This year, he's absolutely slapped it. We have got some fantasies again. We've obviously got another SBC. And unfortunately, Grealish, it just is what it is for him. He did come off injured in the very first game. So appearances is looking very unlikely. And obviously for that fact, the goal and assist is gone. So that just is what it is for him. City still could get the 11 goals comfortably. I might add as well, they could easily go and win 6-7-0 if they really wanted to. So that is always on the cards. And obviously they only need one more win, I'm pretty sure now. After beating United on the weekend, they only need one more win to get him to a 90 at a minimum. So the potential ceiling has been dropped for him, unfortunately. But I always like Grealish. In the middle, funnily enough. I kind of don't like him on the wing half the time. If he did have the rapid plus, I could then argue with it rather than the trickster, which again, a 4-star skiller with a trickster. Surely a trickster plus needs the 5-star. I don't know. That's just me. It just seems weird that he hasn't got the maximum amount of skills, and yet he's a trickster. Again, it's game logic, and it's against actual logic. It doesn't work. We then obviously have some on the right side then. There's a lot more because I must admit the right side is absolutely balling. We have Gully, love the card, as well as McManaman. Obviously, Gully is coming in at 85,000. I'd say that's a must-do regardless because the SBC price is nothing. 85k for a card is literally zero. Like, that is absolutely crazy for a 90 that could go 91 or 92, as well as them being the value that he is. It's a must do. McManaman, I've always been a fan of that UCL card. The upgrade, very much like Lizarazu, was much better. You definitely got a lot more out of his kind of UCL. And then, obviously, with the upgrade again, you can do the exact same. Unfortunately, no Rapid Plus, which is my fan favourite. But a chip shot, if you really wanted to use it. And technical is definitely not the worst you could get. We then move on, like I said, with Nico. Quick step and pinged pass. Great right mid. I loved his... Was it him with the Dynasties? It was, wasn't it? You had him and also Inaki Williams. I'm pretty sure you had both of them. I'm now thinking, did I? But I'm pretty sure you had both of them you could get. And this is just another upgrade. Yeah, you could go in 86. You obviously have him at 136. But then the increase to this is fantastic. He's obviously had a more rounded stat upgrade. He is a little bit more expensive, but with a 4-5 quick step pinged pass, it's a great card that could be in the footsteps of that Inaki Williams, who is a great winger / striker, mainly from his pace. Hansen and Salah are just some old classics. Obviously, Salah's got multiple versions you can go for. This is the most expensive under 500k, so 90 is unfortunately the place you can go. Whereas Hansen, 5-star, 4-star, 366, a great value for a super sub in my eyes. And Rodman with a quick step relentless. She's a very good card. She isn't necessarily a starter in my opinion. She definitely had a better glow up from like the gold trio that you could get. You got like Swanson, Rodman, and then either Smith or Morgan, or you could have all four if you really wanted to. Now I find she's definitely a very good winger, very quick, but there's very little end product I'm finding from her. I much prefer Hansen if I'm being brutal. And then Diana is just Diana. She's just phenomenal. Genuinely so good in the game. Striker, right wing, wherever you want to play her, she will absolutely increase your team unless you've, like I said, got an absolute monster winger. Now, in terms of strikers, this is probably the most freshest striker list I've seen. In terms of the old ones, we've obviously got an Eto'o. He's a classic. He's a brilliant card. Still in my team today, and he absolutely works. The quick step is brilliant, and I'm hoping, do we see a 5-star foot birthday Eto'o? Needs an upgrade. He's not had one yet. That could be the card that takes it. Greasy. He has obviously got a better version, which is very expensive. I'm pretty sure he's injured as well, but 4.2 mil for a 1 upgrade. He does have a double playstyle, plus he's added the finesse shot, and he's obviously got a 5-star, 4-star instead of a 4-3. But this version, still very good, but he is definitely dwindling compared to the rest here, but you've always got to pay respect to Griezmann. In terms of the gold card, he was the left stick king. The finesse shot back in when it was before patch was just brilliant, and I still think he can definitely put it up with the best of them, but I do think there is now slightly better options for the cost. In terms of heroes, one SBC we've got is Smolarek. Great SBC, came out at the same time as Rolfo, coming in a bit cheaper with a chance of a double upgrade still, with that rapid plus. Brilliant. All of them now as well, especially Valer and also Brolin, now have that 4-4 instead of either a 3-3 or a 4-3. It's perfect to see them getting that upgrade, as well as then Brolin having the rapid, and 105k is a crazy price. Again, with the Trickster with a 4-star skills, but we move past it. All of them are phenomenal strikers. Pace-wise is definitely increasing. Dribbling-wise, we're looking better on pretty much all of them. And I do think as the prices come, you've got 182, you've got 105, and then obviously 360, but an SBC. They are, if you are struggling for a striker, an easy option that you can go for. When it comes to the other icons, we have Smith as a future star as well as Shevchenko SBC. We've obviously got the power shot in the first touch and the quick step in the first touch. Again, I think both of them have a role in this. You obviously can only pick two, unfortunately, but I do think when it comes to them, you could pick all of these and have at least a decent time. A lot of people have finished an SBC. If it's just one Eusebio, one Mbappe, or one Henry, there's always got to be a pairing with them. And yes, they're not going to compare to a million, 2 million, 3 million coin card. It's just not going to work like that. But if you are still maybe a little bit late to the party, you haven't had the chance to do them SBCs, they're definitely two strikers to not kind of sniff your nose up at, really. Lacazette, ability to go up still there, 402 with a power shot first touch. Again, he's a good card. He always has been. Whenever you get a later version of Lacazette, he normally gives you the goods. His shooting's decent. He tends to have a decent dribble. Agility balance is normally through the roof because he's, 5'9" or 5'9", and he always delivers as a striker. I think last year we got the 96 footies. We had the end of era 95 from Arsenal the year before. He's always had a decent card by the end of it, and I do think the fantasy has that ability still. But then we do have the future star lads. We have Boniface, phenomenal striker, big old striker. I absolutely love him going forward. His power is just brilliant. It's very much Drogba-esque in terms of just the force that he goes through. It's phenomenal. We have Rasmus, who is getting a player of the month. Whether that player of the month is going to be either 88 or 85 or 86 is up for question. I really hope he's 88, but whether he gets the double play style plus, that's going to be the real big question, but I can see it being under 500k at a minimum. So we will see if that one's going to be worth it. But the future star for 140 is still not a bad price whatsoever. But my personal favourite, Moikoko. What a striker he is. Without the rapid, without any proper shooting, he is just brilliant. The 4-5, the pace is phenomenal alongside the shooting. He is an absolute must. That if he does get an evolution on this card, you're going to be absolutely laughing. That's going to be everybody under 500k. Let me know down below your favourite player, and if he's not on this list, leave it in the comments. Peace.